In order to get the best out of I Can Present, there are some basic things you need to know. A presentation is made up of one or more slides or frames, and for the purposes of this tutorial we'll call them all slides. And you can create as many slides as you like within your presentation. Each slide can have a background colour, a background picture, symbols and other artifacts added to the slide. Text can also be associated with the slide for use in the teleprompt. We'll deal with that, however, in another tutorial. Anything added to a slide is added as a layer, one on top of the other. You can also add, delete and move the location of a slide in the timeline simply by clicking and dragging on it. A video or camera feed can be added to each slide. There's lots more to find out about I Can Present, but that's enough for the time being. Let's get started and create a presentation. Load the I Can Present application in the normal way for your computer and choose Create a New Project. A window opens allowing you to give your project a name and choose a location to save it to. You might be prompted to give I Can Present access to your microphone and camera. The editor window will now open. At the top is the toolbar. Below this, on the left hand side, the preview window, and on the right the symbols library. At the bottom is the timeline, and below this the listicle. There are separate tutorials on each of these. An empty slide has already been created, slide 1. Don't worry about the very first slide in the timeline with the strange symbol. This is the sticky frame, and we'll deal with that separately. You're going to need some resources, and to help you can download the tutorial presentation folder from our website. Add background 1 to slide 1 by dragging and dropping the image to slide 1 in the timeline. Do not drag and drop it to the preview area. The background image will now appear in the preview area, slide 1 in the timeline, and in the background well in the listicle. The image fills the preview window, but only because this image is a specific size ratio of 16:9. We'll look at this later. We're creating a weather map, and if you now click on one of the weather symbols in the tool panel to the right of the screen, you can drag and drop it to the preview area. Once placed, you're able to reposition it, change its size and rotate it using the handles on the symbols bounding box. Let's just drag a few more symbols on. Right-clicking a symbol opens a menu that allows you to duplicate or delete the symbol. If you make a mistake, you can use the undo and redo buttons in the toolbar at the top of the I Can Present window, or the keyboard shortcuts of Command X and Command Shift Z. It is worth mentioning at this point that you do not need to worry about saving your presentation, as this is automatically happening each time changes are made to the project, but you can still save manually if you wish, just to be on the safe side. Let's create a second slide. If you just want to create a new slide, then click the plus button in the timeline. Alternatively, right-clicking the slide opens a menu whereby you can duplicate or delete the slide. We'll create a new slide, so click the plus button. Add background 2 to this slide. You'll immediately notice that this background does not fill the preview window. That is because the image does not have an aspect ratio of 16:9. There are a couple of things that you can do. Resize the image, for example. Make sure the image is selected in the preview area. It will have a thin yellow border. There's a handle in the top right hand corner, a little black square. Click on this and move the mouse. The picture resizes. If you now click in the picture itself and move the mouse, you'll see that you can move the image's position. So move the position to the bottom left hand corner and then use the handle to resize the image, that is, make it larger. You can do this a number of times until you get the image large enough to fill the area. Alternatively, if we just reset image 2, you will notice that the area around the outside of the image is all the same colour, blue. We can use the background image well, bottom left in the listicle, to open the colour picker, and then selecting the pipette tool, choose the blue to fill in the surrounding area. For this demonstration tutorial, we're going to add a third slide and use image 3. We've added this third slide to show you that you can change the order of the slides in the timeline simply by dragging and dropping them to a new position. We now have our basic presentation. All that is left to do is to add the video, and you can find out about that in the video tutorial.